it to my bed and breakfast here in South Boston. There is a little window air conditioning unit that's on, so it's a little bit loud, so that's why I'm using my microphone to hopefully cut off some of the noise. This bed and breakfast is so adorable. The exterior is so cute, and then each room is its own nautical Boston Harbor type theme. I'm in the If 2 by Sea room, and there's a huge lobster over the bed, and it is just so cute. They did have a little kitchen area with refreshments, so I snagged some crackers and some Baby Bell cheese to tide me over for a couple hours until I go have dinner. So I am going to change out of my traveling clothes. My face is a little oily from the recycled air on the plane, so I'm gonna change out of my traveling clothes and freshen up, go explore South Boston. I'm about a 5-minute walk from the Bay Area, and there's a little sandy beach. You'll probably see Castle Island and go find something for dinner.
Without my love for the ocean, I would be long gone by now.
I've made it to Castle Island, just sitting on a bench, enjoying the views. It's a little windy, and being next to the airport, you can hear planes and helicopters fly overhead. But I was just watching the Norwegian Pearl cruise liner leave port, so that was pretty cool. Oh, there's another plane flying ahead. Hope it's not too loud. But the sun has come out, so that is awesome, and has made this walk around Castle Island so gorgeous, even though it's really windy. But on the other side of me, behind me above this hill, is Fort Independence. And Fort Independence, that is actually, what, the 8th fort that they have built. It was first built in the early 1700s, made out of sticks and mud, and now the latest fort is made out of granite, I believe, and was completed in the late 1800s. Left Castle Island and the Pleasure Bay area and just walking around more of South Boston. Probably looking to go find some place for dinner. So walking back to my bed and breakfast from the restaurant, I went to a restaurant called the Broadway, which was really good. I ended up making reservations on the Open Table app for 2 because some restaurants don't let you make reservations for 1, and I didn't want to sit at the bar. I like sitting at a table. So they ended up seating me at a booth that looked like it could hold 6. And then I casually told them my friends canceled on me, so it was just gonna be me. And it was totally fine. And enjoyed a really delicious strawberry rhubarb spritz, which has Aperol. I'm not a huge fan of Aperol spritz, but this cocktail was so good. My sister got the rhubarb jam recipe that our grandma used to make, so she's been experimenting with that and trying to make that. So I'm gonna try to convince her to make a strawberry rhubarb cocktail of some sort. Growing up, we had a wild rhubarb plant in our backyard that we, for the longest time, didn't know what it was. Well, at least Callie and I didn't. Our parents knew. And so we would start picking at it until our mom yelled at us because it was a rhubarb plant, and she would make rhubarb jam and pie and all of that. Or she would give it to our grandma, and our grandma would make it. So it brings back a lot of memories. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to bed and breakfast and just rest for the rest of the evening. Slight detour. I've stopped at the the L&M beach. I'm just here on a bench, have the rest of my pizza. So I'm just gonna kind of relax and stare off to the bay and enjoy my evening before heading back to my bed and breakfast. I just had some delicious pumpkin bread for breakfast. Our host made all of the guests pumpkin bread, so that was a great way to start out the morning. but now I am going to go downtown and get ready for, I have a guided tour of the Freedom Trail here in about an hour and a half. You can do the Freedom Trail yourself for free, or get a map that's a couple dollars and just walk the red brick road yourself for the Freedom Trail. But I opted for a guided tour just because I'm traveling solo. I wanted to do at least one guided tour or something with a group a day so I could interact with some people and feel a part of a group. And so I chose the Freedom Trail. Since that doesn't start for another hour and a half, I am going to go find some coffee now. Finished my tour for the Freedom Trail and it was so awesome. Learned a lot of history and a lot of cool sights, but I didn't get that cup of coffee and now I have a blaring headache, so I'm off to search for some coffee. I got coffee at the Thinking Cup. I've just started retracing my steps on the Freedom Trail, going back to where I started and explore the Boston Commons a little bit more, and then go up to Beacon Street and Acorn Street and explore that ritzy neighborhood. But on the way back to the Boston Commons, I stopped at the Omni Parker Hotel where the original Boston cream pie was created and served. So you can go into the gift shop, get a little mini Boston cream pie, and sit in the lobby of the hotel and enjoy a nice, delicious Boston cream pie. It was really good. A little rich, so I only had about half of it, but then I just kind of relaxed in the lobby and rested my legs for a little bit so I can get up the energy to walk some more. So I am back at it. Full day in Boston, and I'm going to do a day trip to Salem, and I'm going to take the train. So I have been doing the metro the entire time I've been here. I just got a 7-day pass, even though I'm only here for about 4 days. It made the most sense economic wise. Also, they're doing construction on one of the tunnels that connects Logan Airport to East Boston. So if you get the 7-day pass, the commuter rail, the Newberry Rockport commuter rail that goes to Salem is in zone 1A, which if you get that stamped on your ticket, then this pass will also allow me to go to Salem. Which if that hadn't happened, I was just planning on getting the $10 weekend ticket that they have that allows you to ride any of the commuter trains for $10 for the weekend. Made it to Salem, but it is raining, so I'm gonna go find the visitor center, then a couple museums to tour so I can get out of the rain. I am at the Ropes Mansion. Can't really see behind me because my umbrella, but this is Allison's house in the movie Hocus Pocus. just left the Pirate Museum. Holy cow, that was so cool. It was probably one of the best museums I've been into. Definitely not expecting that. You can touch real pirate treasure. It was just so cool. If you come to Salem, you need to check out the Pirate Museum. So I have spent the last couple hours just relaxing in my room after walking around Salem in the rain. It was a lot of fun, but needed to come home and relax. So I've since gotten ready. I'm going to go out to dinner for my last night here in Boston. I'm going to be meeting up with a friend, Dominique. I met Dominique when we went on the Rome to Barcelona trip through Kentucky last year. Dominique's from South Africa, and she's actually finishing up her MBA here in Boston. I believe she had her last class a couple nights ago, so I'll celebrate with her finishing up her MBA and get to catch up since it's been a year since I've seen her, and celebrate my last night in Boston. So much fun catching up with Dominique since it's been a year since I've seen her. The lobster roll at row 34 was really good. I don't have a reference point of having other lobster rolls to compare it, so I can't say if it's the best in Boston, but it was definitely delicious. That restaurant's definitely on the pricier side, and that's kind of my experience with Boston as a solo traveler. It's kind of an expensive city if you're not splitting the cost with someone else, from your lodging to transportation. I did use the metro majority of the places I went. I did use Uber last night to go to the restaurant since it was raining and I didn't want to have to mess with public transportation in the rain. But overall, I've had a blast here in Boston. I definitely want to come back because obviously I didn't see all that you can explore in Boston. The Freedom Trail was so fun and fascinating to learn all the history or remember things that I was taught growing up in school. Salem was a lot of fun to get to see that and learn about really what those people went through on the Salem witch trials. And it was just so crazy when I went to the spot where they were hung and to see that the people that I had learned about growing up that were hung, Sarah Good, Rebecca Nurse, all of them, that happened on July 19th. And I visited on July 16th. So just 3 days before the anniversary of when that happened. It was so eerie. It gave me goosebumps. But I would say the highlight of Salem was a shocker, and that was the Pirate Museum. It was founded by this guy who had been diving for the sea wreck of the ship Wyndham. Witta? Witta. You have to get that Boston accent to say it right. But they had the whole museum just decked out in pirate-themed decor and artifacts from that shipwreck and even pirate's treasure, which they had a couple of pieces in a case that had openings so you could touch real pirate's treasure. That was so neat. So that was one of my favorites, although just learning about the Salem witch trials, exploring the different historical spots, that was certainly fascinating as well. So all in all, I had a blast this trip, and I definitely want to come back for a visit. So I hope you enjoyed following along, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.